shoot. Come on, babies. Show them what you are made of.
She is 8 years old, while her younger sister is 6. They are professional photographers and have been into the business of making memories for some years with the support of their parents.
We had a structured plan for them that they're going to be entrepreneurs. That was my mindset. Growing up, I already had the mindset that my kids are not going to work for anyone. They're going to go into doing their own thing. So I started looking out for what they love. But then Ariyike started with the camera quite at an early stage.
Ariyike's love for photography started at a very tender age. Then at home, she's always playing with her toy camera. And I called my husband to pay attention to her. And then gradually, she started.
The name of the elder has been in the media space as the youngest professional photographer in Nigeria and perhaps Africa. But not many people know that these sisters are from a dynasty of photographers. This is the story of how photography evolved in their lineage. How did I come across this family that has sustained the chain from the first to the fourth generation? As I scrolled through a post on my friend's Instagram handle, "Catch them when they are young. Could you believe this little damsel took this beautiful photograph?" caught my attention. That was the beginning of my search for the youngest professional photographer in Nigeria and perhaps in Africa, Ariyike photography. Professional photography is a craft best known with adults. Given the technicality and complexity in handling the camera, it may be difficult to think that an 8-year-old would professionally be engaged in the business of making memories.
Do you guys not love it?
Located in Ola Awakan Street in Egbeda area of Lagos, where she lives with her family, was a bit adventurous. We eventually caught up with her. Ariyike Oluwaseun started appreciating photography when she was 5 years old.
Photography means taking pictures and having fun. When I was 4 or 5, I started my business. Sometimes people push me away, and the good times that sometimes I don't go between them. I pass a shortcut to go there, so I can take the picture below the camera. That's gonna be easy for me. If people are in the front of me, I would just go to another place, to another place so I can go to the front of the people.
She does not only take good pictures, she also understands the basic parts of a camera. Ariyike believes in having fun while taking photographs. She does this in the company of her 6-year-old sister, Ariyike Oluwaseun, who can also handle the camera professionally.
I am 6 years old and I'm from Ekiti State. I started by seeing my sister doing it. Then I wanted to follow my sister's steps because I knew she needed my help.
It is a dynasty of photographers. Ariyike is also passionate about the art as she combines it with an interest in fashion and hairdo.
I will make their hair, I will sew their clothes, my mom will give them the Ankara. My sister will take the pictures and my dad will edit it.
To be further convinced, I requested that they both take pictures of me. It was just to quench my doubts. I was impressed with the output from the snapshots.
Photography is like taking pictures of people and other things. Like if you take pictures of a background where people are, it can be nice and you can frame it to go and keep. You can even sell frames.
At the beginning of the 21st century, there were not too many photographers in Nigeria. Given the eventual proliferation of photographers as a result of advanced technology in the last few years, the profession has experienced a drastic improvement, with practitioners showcasing their dexterities. Ariyike and Ariyike at this event show the reception and reactions they get while taking pictures. The frenzy in photography on both sisters emanated from their father, who left banking for the picture business. Oluwaseun actually pulled his wife along.
Photography for us is more of a bloodline thing. It's more of a family thing. Like the whole of the extended family, that's the only thing we know how to do. My mom's uncle, who happens to stand like a grandfather for me growing up, is a photographer. And practically my mom took it off from him, and I take it off from my mom. My kids take it off from me. Hopefully their kids also take it off from them.
I learned it on my own from a program organized by Ola Awakan, the Women Poverty Alleviation Program, where you come to learn so many things. So I chose photography, and not really because I was idle. There's nothing to do after I resigned from my job to just take care of my children and all that. So while waiting, I said, let me just learn something. So I opted for photography, and by then my husband already started photography. So in order to, since we want to work together, so let me just go for a training. Although he trained me at home as well, but I just needed another person to train me.
When I asked if Ariyike has ever been distracted from her academics, the father's response showed that her grades dropped when photography was forcefully taken away from her.
The more we try to say, don't do photography, don't carry camera, we don't see you with the camera, send her away when we're the camera and all that, the more academics started dropping and we started getting complaints from school.
I go to school at school times, then I take pictures after school. That's how I do it.
If you don't read your books, you don't concentrate, no photography. And I think that word alone helped her. So we now take her back to photography and we try to balance it up for her. Even at home, we get her a tutor so that where she has lost, she picked up from there.
Ariyike's first camera was given to her by her grandmother. She showed me the camera and explained how she cherished it despite the fact that it was not working.
My sister, I try and pretend it's real to me. Taking the picture like this, I just press. I think one of those buttons, I just pressed it to my sister while my sister is watching TV.
My mom gave Ariyike her first camera, those Polaroid kind of that you have to look from up. Then she started playing around with it as well. Of course, I was always scared of that thing not falling on her leg. Like that thing is very heavy. Then of course, she's always around with it. Anytime she comes back from school, that's the next thing she carries, play around. That became practically a toy. And I think at that point we realized, I mean, this is unstoppable.
Moyinoluwa Ariyike Oluwaseun at age 8 is already a professional photographer in Nigeria and perhaps the youngest in Africa. It is observed that photography runs in the family.
Ariyike happens to be the youngest photographer in Nigeria and even in Africa, so far that we've seen, because I had to do a couple of research. And a couple of people confirmed to me, a couple of people called me from outside the country to confirm to me that she's the youngest so far professionally in the whole world. Well, I have not seen beyond shores of Africa though, but they confirm she's the youngest so far in the whole world, which I can't prove, but within Africa at least, she's the youngest so far we've seen.
Very nice.
Thank you.
It's not been an easy journey. So that's why everywhere they are, I always go with them. That's number one. Fine, the society is not really encouraging because you tend to see so many things, you tend to hear so many things. So you're forcing them.
Major challenge for us now is being able to balance her work as a photographer, as a professional photographer, and as a child. We still need to make her understand that you're still a child. You still have to come home and do your house chores. No matter how busy you think you are out there, you still have to come home and do certain things at home. You're still my child. I can still call you to do some things for me.
When I discovered that the grandmother was not the first generation, I got more inquisitive and decided to take a step further. We drove to Osun State to meet with the woman who inspired Ariyike's father. She also stopped him from discouraging Ariyike's passion for photography.
I'm here in Ilesha, Osun State to see the grandmother of Ariyike, who will explain to us how photography has been a part of the family from one generation to another.
Oyeyemi Adetifa is the second generation of photographers in the dynasty. She was glad to receive us.
The photograph came from Benson Colonel. He's my master and he's my brother. I started that photograph from that man, and I finished my tenure 3 years. That Ariyike father, she learning it from my brother, and that my brother, she learned the photography from me.
Mrs. Adetifa had many apprentices who learned photography from her many years ago. The business was so lucrative. What she earned was enough to send her children through school.
I buy one roll film. By that time, we are still using roll film, Kodak Tura film, rolling one. I buy one, 300 naira. I put it inside the camera. I gave her the camera. And using it. Just if you see ordinary stick, she will try to take it. If you see anything, she try to snap it. And use that 36 exposures. And I take the film. I brought the film to Elisha. By the time I develop it, she will see stick, she will see cow, and I print it because it's first impression for that video.
The connectivity between her and Ariyike, her granddaughter, has been so strong. She practically took the pictures at Ariyike's naming ceremony.
I'm using this one to take Ariyike naming ceremony.
Wow. What is her impression of the new generation of photographers?
Time I start my own is real photo. But this one, if you put that one inside your cupboard or inside your leather, she will spoil. But this one, if you put it on the table, it will spoil. But now is a new type. That is why everybody like it.
This story has brought to mind the nostalgic feeling of how my mother was also into the memory-making business many years ago. I then went back to pay her a visit. I found out the old cameras are still in her archive. Ola Awakan, who operated as Kemu Photographic Studio, explained how the cameras evolved and their peculiarities.
When we started, we used to buy film and load in the camera. This particular camera uses 12 rolls of film. Around 1986, we started using 36 exposures of film.
Our parents need 36 exposures. So 36 exposures, our parents need.
She shares same notion with Ariyike's grandmother on how pictures taken with the old cameras could last longer than the ones from the digital cameras.
Pictures from the old cameras last longer than the ones from the digital camera. Even when water spills on them with little effort to sun dry, your pictures are back. But pictures now can easily get damaged with little water or heat.
Back to the dynasty of photographers.
I trained more than 10.
If she is the second generation in the dynasty, who then is the first? Another journey to Ekiti State. This is the palace of the Owa of Iludun Ekiti. Records have it that Oba Kayode Akinola had the first photography color laboratory many years ago in Osun State.
I started as an apprentice at Kano, 62 Sabongeri Road, Kano. I learned from Oton & Sons for 2 years. This was 1951 to 52.
Ariyike's grandmother learned photography from him.
I practiced black and white photography for almost 17 years before I came about the processing of color films and papers. And this, when we were processing, then we had it time again to take photographs outside. All others from the north, from the south, from the east, they just brought their films for processing.
As a traditional ruler in Ekiti State, he reveals what photography, being his first passion, was at his time and what it is today.
I was the second person throughout the country to process color film and paper. As at that time, we used to take the color film here, sent abroad, then we process it within 15 days, then we collect it back from abroad.
If you're not okay with the camera flash, you may use this flash. But it's going to be nice if you use this flash. It's going to make your picture more nice.
Initially, I didn't believe that this small girl could take photographs. You see the style she was using. With, the camera is a little bit, advanced than the one we were using before. Yeah. So, and this small girl could control it. And I was even told that I've been going to engagements outside to work. So I was extremely happy.
The money you started making money from photography.
Yeah.
So how do you intend to use it to touch the lives of people?
I'll use that money to make people know photography better. And I'll build my own studio.
Okay. So how do you want to teach people in your studio?
In my studio, I'll teach them how to take pictures. And I'm going to be selling camera free. Free cameras.
This is the before.
I observed there has not been any avenue for the first and fourth generations of this photography dynasty to meet. Oba Kayode Akinola, being the first, may have left the business many years ago due to the call to serve the people of Owa of Iludun Ekiti. But the dynasty which he started is no doubt flourishing. There is every indication that the chain may not stop with Ariyike being the fourth generation whose name rings a bell across the country and perhaps in Africa as its youngest professional photographer.